In this video here, I'm going to cover everything you need to know about the new wireless gaming headset released from Logitech, being the Logitech Gpro X2. I will be comparing the new Pro X2 compared to the original Gpro, telling you the differences there. Is it worth an upgrade or which one you should buy? And I will also be doing some comparisons stacked up with some of the other best wireless gaming headsets on the market today. But first off, let's take a look at what you get inside your box. Now, as you see, we have the white version of the headset. It also does come in a black variation as well. You get some replaceable ear pads, nice cloth ones. The leatherette ones are installed. Detachable microphone with included windscreen. You get your USB-C cable, your 3.5 cable, and then a little carrying bag. You know, I think I forgot to mention our wireless dongle as well, with a 3.5 port, which we'll talk more about in the features. So just right there, as far as what's in your box, you're already probably seeing a few differences compared to the original G Pro X headset. Now, you all know there's no other place I can start other than comfort, because if it's not stinking cozy, you're gonna wanna take it right off. And I wanna start with the weight, and I wanna start right here actually first. I wanna weigh the original ones. I haven't tested this yet, but when I put these on my head, the new ones feel a lot lighter than the originals, which is weird because there's more features packed into this. Let's go on and check here. Originals, 352. Again, this is the first time I've done this as well, so I'm kind of nervous here, seeing if I'm actually right. So 352 over there. 342. So not a big difference at all. You're talking 10 grams, but again, you can tell in the hand and you tell on the head. It's really weird. And the crazy thing is the new ones are packing more features, like I stated, than the old ones. It's just crazy. Now let's go and take a look at the ear pads on the new G Pro X2. And they're a little bit different, but still quite the same. As far as the size, again, they're just about the same. You can see the length right there, the width. And then as far as your depth, I never had any issues with my ears touching the drivers in there, but you do have a little bit of padding in there. Now what's gonna be different looking at these pads, let me go on and get the originals out again. So you're seeing pretty much, again, the exact same. Now the originals, they're pleather all the way around, even on the inside. On the new ones, let me see if the camera can catch this, but there's a slight bit of cloth in there, just again, letting them breathe a little bit more. And you do have padding in there. I never had my issues of my ears touching the drivers in there, but if you do, you got a little bit of padding there to help out. And then, like I stated, it does come with these replaceable cloth ones, which are incredibly cozy. But again, they let a lot of the sound bleed out. So before we go into any more comfort, y'all know I just gotta chime in with a little bit of my passion. I think y'all know where we're going with this, right? Talking about the ear pads. Right here, there's really not a happy medium, right? You got the cloth ones that are real breathable and let the sound bleed, which we'll talk about in sound. And you got these over here that lock in a lot of the heat and your ears get spicy. Well, thankfully, you all know where I'm going. Wicked cushions here, and their pads are going to fit on these just like the original ones. These are the universals. Bam, you just take them off. These just slide right off, and then right around the lip on the back, just like the stock ones, they're gonna tuck into that groove. And again, these are going to be game changing on this headset. And if you just look at the difference of the pad right there compared to the stock to the Wicked cushion, again, I can't say it enough. It's game changing. It's so nice. Now you do have that lining inside there to lock in that sound, but you got that sports material here and then that cooling gel right on the outside, pleather on the outside right there to lock in more of that sound. Very big, very plush, and again, nice and cool to the touch. They make this headset so much better. And I know one thing a lot of people chime in about when I talk about Wicked cushions these days is, well, how much does it change the sound? And honestly, with this headset, it doesn't change it much because the Wicked cushions being quite similar to the stock ones, not the fully cloth ones over here, but again, still being able to hold in that sound. And again, just locking in the sound, it didn't change it much at all, like not even enough to really worthy a mention. I can't recommend these cushions enough for this headset. So all right, back to the headset here. And there's something you're probably noticing different on the new ones compared to the old ones already. And that is, well, this hinge on the side here. Yes, because Logitech finally has full swivel in their headset. Let me get the original out again. And as you see, there's no hinge. You just got that fork, kind of like HyperX Cloud 2s and stuff. No swivel whatsoever. That is something I praise. I tell every headset video, we need full swivel in our headsets, and thank goodness Logitech did it here. Because again, no joke, it is game changing. When I take the original G Pros and put them on my head, well, I got this pressure up here. Why? Because there's no swivel. So I also have that gap back there, which is gonna lead to sound bleed, right? Now it's gonna differ head shape to head shape. Maybe your head's a little wider back there, whatever. Maybe it's a little bit tighter because it's not. Again, there's multiple variations. You can go without swivel. This is something I've preached since day one, guys. And seeing Logitech listen and do this, it transforms this headset completely because it wraps into my head shape. It's gonna wrap into your head shape, their head shape, everybody's head shape. It's now gonna fit with the swivel rather than this giving you that pressure points and not fitting everybody perfectly. Now, they do. Now, one thing I want to mention here that I'm not sure you can catch in a camera is about our full extension. As you see, it does have that traditional arm where it clicks in there and holds its position very well and all that. But when both of these headsets are extended, the original Logitechs, they're not as long. They don't extend as far as the new ones. I feel like you got more flexibility again with the new ones. Number one, with that swivel, but also extension. So I feel like this is gonna fit many more head shapes, bigger, smaller, wider, whatever, hair, hats, anything like that. When you come over to the original ones, you're just restricted a little bit more. So again, I know I've been harping on it here in the comfort department, but it makes me absolutely giddy and excited, and I want to high five Logitech for actually doing this because it just puts the originals to shame in the comfort department. The new ones are hands down stinking cozy. Now let's go and dive into build. And again, they're fairly similar here, but again, quite different because we got those extra swivel points there coming up with this bracket here. Now, all this is metal. Your headband going over here is metal. Now the connections going into here are plastic. And then actually down here, if you can see in the camera, that is plastic in there. This bracket up here is plastic. And I actually, whenever I took the ear pad off, I actually took this housing off just to see what's going on in there. And this bracket that's actually holding that swivel on inside of the cup, hopefully you follow me, that is also plastic. So yes, we have a lot of really great reinforced metal points out on our initial points that are really gonna touch surfaces out there, but there is still a lot of plastics within those metal reinforced points, if that makes sense. Again, you got plastic here, plastic there, plastic up there, and plastic inside, even though we got the metal on the outside. I wish they could have kind of, again, put a little bit more metal on that, but then would we still have this really nice, comfortable, lightweight? As far as stretching it out, I don't get worried one bit. Twisting it up, not worried one bit. Again, setting it down over time, that might be the one area that could affect us down the road because those brackets on the outside are plastic. I wish they would have went straight hinge into the cup like HyperX does on their new headsets. That's what I wish they would have done here. But all in all, I do think the build is premium. It is solid. I don't get worried about it. And you feel like you have a great product in your hand for sure. Now let's go and talk features and functions on this headset. And there is a lot more compared to the original G Pros. So stick with me here. You're going to want to hear about this. So number one, let's start with this 3.5. You're seeing you got that 3.5 cable over here. Because yes, you do have a 3.5 port on this headset right now. And no, the headset does not have to be powered on to use that. Just plug in 3.5 and you're good to go. One other weird thing is you have that 3.5 port on your USB dongle, your wireless receiver over here. And this was kind of tricky. I'm like, what the heck is this for? They didn't really market it much. They didn't talk about it much. So I touched base with some other YouTubers and everything. I say, man, you guys seeing a point for this or a really good use for this? And the only thing we could come up with is, again, it's a source. You can put a source into this and then it can come out to the headset right there. So again, if you got it wireless and you put, say, your phone into this with music, then it can come through the headset whenever you're actually using it. Really confusing. The first time I've seen something like this, kind of weird. It's like, I don't know, you let me know. Would you find a solution or a reason to actually utilize something like this? Me personally, not really. So going back into the headset, I'm gonna touch on that a little bit more here, right? So you got your power button right here. Bam, flick it on and you can see you got the light right down here letting you know. Right here is your volume wheel, continuously rolling top, continuously rolling bottom. And it's nice and I don't wanna say firm, but it's got some nice tension in there. It just doesn't free roll or anything. It's not clicky, but it feels like that premium kind of roll. Mic mute button down here, and you also get a tone in the headset when actually you mute it. Really nice. You get tones in the headset on everything. When you top your volume, bottom your volume, power it on, mute it. Really love the tones to let you know what you're getting. USB-C charging, which you get up to 50 hours of battery life on this. And then you have Bluetooth button, and right below that is your detachable microphone. And that's where I want to chime back into the dongle with that 3.5, being able to get, say, your audio or something from another source into the headset while you're using it, and then also having Bluetooth. Because no, the Bluetooth is not simultaneous, which is weird. You switch over to one to the other, double press here and there, whatever, and you got your multi-functions there for like a phone call and stuff. Really strange. While it's not simultaneous, but they implemented like, okay, well, you can simultaneously with this 3.5 port here, which is, again, just weird. It's different. I don't know. I personally would just prefer simultaneous Bluetooth. So again, it's packing a lot of awesome features and functions in this headset, and it works great, but that part makes me say why. Now let's go ahead and get a listen to the microphone on the new Logitech Gpro X. And I'm taking a look at my graph as it's recording here. It's picking up at a nice, comfortable range. It's not peaking or anything. It's really holding its ground right there. Now Logitech did state it's the exact same microphone that came on the original Gpros here. So again, is it an improvement? I think that microphone was always pretty good on that, whether it be the wireless one or the wired one. You do get that blue software within all of them, so you can really tweak it how you want. Me, with my test, you all know, I give you that raw experience, just plugged and played. I don't want to tweak it and dabble with it. You get to do that. But how is the core microphone? That's what we want to know first out of the box. How is it at the core? And then, again, any improvement is just icing on top of the cake. My room, not much sound dampening or anything like that. This is, again, a core experience of the microphone, how it will sound for the majority of us. And just right now, it looks like it's picking up really nice. Like I stated with the features and functions, when you mute it, right on the back here, let me see. And then I press it back again, and you get that tone and another tone whenever you make it go active. Absolutely love it right there. So I just listened to that microphone playback before I transferred it and put it into the editing software, which, by the way, I don't tweak it over there either. Again, it just transferred over, and then that's where I start putting it into the timeline. But talking about listening to it at its core, just right there after I recorded it, it sounded pretty good. Was it perfect? Was it the best? No. But holy smokes, it was amazing. Maybe a little bit of my P's and T's and the shuffling of my mouth. Maybe I could have pulled it a little bit away right there. But I felt like the volume and everything was nice. It wasn't peaking or anything like that, which is where you can get into the blue software and kind of dabble with it there a little bit more. Now, one thing I do notice here is this windscreen. I'm going to go on and take it off right here. The included windscreen here is quite thin and quite chintzy. I would recommend you, I'll leave them links right down in the description. I use these windscreens. Hold on a second. Let me go check here so I can share it with you guys. Shameless little plug here. Not sponsored, just something I have found and I really like myself. I bought these off Amazon. It's a pack of like 10 for 10 bucks. Nice big chunky windscreen here. And you can just see the size difference. Hopefully you can see it in the camera right there. The stock one's quite chintzy. These are very nice and full. And again, that's going to help out with our microphone. Again, with some of that shuffling right there, rather than having to go into software and process it up a little bit. So now, go on and buckle up for my ever so long-winded topic in all my videos. That's talking about sound right here. And as you can see, I got quite a bit to talk about. We're going to talk about it with the cloth pads. We're going to compare it up to the old ones. We'll talk about it with the Wicked cushions. And then I'll also chime in about some other premium headsets that have recently released, talking about how it stacks up to those. But more importantly, how I'm going to deliver my sound, as you all know in my videos, is I deliver that user to user, real world, gamer to gamer, consumer to consumer, where we all can relate on the same topic. As a gamer, that's what I'm going to deliver to you so we all can connect. But before I get into the details of the sound of this, I got to talk about what they're packing, because Logitech changed these up quite a bit. They're packing 50mm drivers with frequency range of 20 to 20,000. But now they're using graphene drivers. And I'm not going to bore you with that. I can throw up a screenshot here so you can see, or you can research a little bit more. But again, so we can relate, what I want to tell you that is like, talk about a graphene driver. It's something that's going to firm it up a little bit, but still keep it lightweight and deliver that sound how it should. So it stays right there. You can think of car speakers. Think about that really nice tweeter or that subwoofer you've had for your car, maybe when we were younger, right? But anyways, you press it and it'd be a little firmer. And what do you get right there? You get that nice, hard, crispy hit of bass that delivers it, and that's it. It's not sitting there gurgling and gargling a whole bunch, right? You think about gaming headsets, right? The stereotype around gaming headsets is muddy, gargly, staticky, over full, and just, again, full of just mud where everything's jumbled together. Right? That you can think of like back in the days. Gaming headsets have gotten so good these days. So if you're still over there, push that aside, and you know that's old news there. And Logitech's showing us that right here with these new drivers, delivering the sound we want, the clarity we want, right? In any situation, whether it be an FPS game or a story game. Me playing a lot of Call of Duty, getting back into some Warzone solos, the mini mode, absolutely love that mode, right? And then of course playing a lot of Destiny right there. So let's talk about Destiny first with this headset. And by the way, when I'm talking about the sound here, or even the comparisons, I'm talking a flat sound. I'm not tweaking my EQ. That's up to you where you can tweak and dabble and pull it out, which I did here and there, and I'll talk about that as well. But talking about that core sound, in Destiny, you're getting that fullness, you're getting that environment, you're getting the enemies, when they're slamming down, you're feeling it, you're getting that immersion, but the detail and the crispness of it is so nice, and it's there. The mids are there, and you're getting everything you want. The bass is there. Is it punchy and rumbly? No, it's not, but you're getting that hit. You're getting that crisp bass where it should be. That bass shouldn't hit and then rumble over here into your mids and highs. It should sit right down here and hit. And that's what you got with this. And it was really nice. And the mids were right over here. The highs were up here doing its thing. They were a little more potent in the highs. And talking about compared to the originals, they are a little bit more crispy in the highs. You can kind of think like what we saw in SteelSeries sound signature alone right there. Not as far as quality or drivers or anything, but as we saw with SteelSeries, the previous days, they were geared a lot towards the highs. And then now it's got a little bit more mids and bass into it. It's kind of opposite here, right? I would feel like the new ones have a little bit more highs. The old ones are definitely a little bit more mid or bass heavy. This is minute. This is mild, guys, right? So not saying these are like punchy bass heavy headsets and these are overly screechy in the highs. Not that, but again, going one-to-one, testing them, you can clearly hear the difference there. But I don't want to make it sound like it's screechy in the highs. It's just more detailed and crispy. And the delivery is amazing in a story game. You're getting everything you want. Now let's go and talk about when I was in Call of Duty. Whether I'm playing a regular round of Team Deathmatch or Warzone or something like that, right? Using this headset, again, flat EQ, straight out the box. It was very nice. You're jumping in, that plane comes in, and you're like, holy smokes, I'm in this game. Let's get at it. You know, it was very exciting. Dropping down right there, I could clearly hear someone, again, if they were around the corner, if I'm in that warehouse, I'll hear them kind of walking around over there. It was really, really nice with that detail and that direction of sound. It was just so potent. Now, one thing I did notice about this, again, talking about delivering the highs a little bit more, I did notice, like, say if I got someone coming, walking around, if I'm in a house, if they're above me or something like that, and then I hear, say, a score streak, whatever that plane's called that shoots and stuff, right? That one's coming over, which is a loud, full sound that's going across the entire screen, I would lose those footsteps, you know what I mean? And that happens in a lot of headsets. I'm just letting you know. I wish this would have separated that a little bit more, which I have gotten in other headsets, which I'll talk about here soon. But right with this one, I would kind of lose those a little bit. I feel like the highs would kind of sit there and compete with each other a little bit right there. So let's answer the question of, is it a good FPS headset? I had a good time with it. I'm not a real competitive person. Yeah, I always want to win. I think we all do, you know what I mean? And I did get those cues I wanted, but sometimes I lost them. So if I was like die hard, like competitive, where I wasn't getting those other sounds, I think there might be some better options out there, but it is still delivering a whole lot. You're getting a lot of those audio cues. And again, I'm nitpicking here when I state that, right? So what I want to talk about real quick here as well is me dabbling with my own EQ, pulling it out. I get my Smile EQ, same as I always do, right? With this headset, again, me playing more Destiny than Call of Duty, I honestly caught myself reversing my EQ a little bit. You all know I peak up into the highs, and then my bass kind of peaks up a little bit, but it's still lower than my highs, kind of like an angle. What I did here is I actually reversed it. I pulled out my bass a little bit more than my highs, and again, I got what I was looking for in Destiny. Just very nice, full-bodied sound, still with crispy highs. I had so much fun with it, and dabbling with the EQs, talking about these drivers being tighter, you can hear the differences you're making, right? Really, really cool. I know I'm rambling and going on and on here, but there's so much cool stuff to talk about with this headset, and I want you to be able to vibe with me and really understand what we're getting right here, you know? So now let me break it down to what we have on the table here, okay? Talking about the headset as is, stock leatherette pads with the cloth on the inside. They are nice, they're punchy, they're right in your face. Your ears are getting spicy, right? I didn't really enjoy using those, but it is delivering that sound right with you. Going to the cloth ones, holy smokes, these things, like I stated, are amazingly comfortable, but wow, it just you lose the sound. It's letting all the sound out. It is just as comfortable as they are. And you all know I'm all about cozy, right? I had to take these off because it just ruined the sound. Maybe if you're watching a movie or just in a meeting or watching videos, then I would use those. I would use those for that. But for gaming, no way. Don't even touch those. Coming over to the Wicked cushions, this was that sweet spot in between them. They are a little bit bigger, a little bit plusher, but they don't pull the drivers too far away from your head. They're still locking in the sound right there. This was the sweet spot for me. I really like these. And again, that made that happy medium in between both of them, but you still got that crispy sound right in your face. And last bit, as far as the comparisons table here, again, just reiterating on differences from old to new. As far as sound, these are a little fuller, a little bit more bass, a little bit more mids, just again, kind of just all in one. When over here, you got a little bit more highs, a little bit more of that separation, a little bit more of that detail and clarity, which is, wow, it is amazing. And this is what I think a lot of us would prefer. And yes, the sound on the new ones, just cutting to the chase, is better than the old ones. Now let's go and talk about a few comparisons in the sound here. Some of the hottest new wireless headsets out, and I try to keep this as brief as I can, but kicking it off with the Razer Blackshark V2 Pros, the 2023 version here, which all that was refreshed was the microphone, by the way. Talking about the sound difference here, using the Triforce, the Razer Triforce drivers, which are really nice separation. These are a little warmer than this. As far as warmth, I would say the out-of-the-box sound signature is delivered just like the original G Pros. That's how I'd put the Razers here. They're definitely a little bit more bass, a little bit more mid-driven than the new Logitechs. Now, where this headset's going to shine with those Triforce drivers is a separation. Like I stated with the highs over here, score streak, and then someone coming around the corner, I kind of lost it with this. With these, you're going to get that detail. Now, that could go multiple ways. Triforce drivers, or also this headset is not geared towards the highs too much. We can take it either of those ways, but even with me down with my EQ over here, I still felt that blend of the highs if I was in a situation like that. With the Blacksharks, again, you kind of got that separation, and that is helping from those Triforce drivers. But as far as delivering sound signature at its core, these are geared definitely more towards detail, towards the highs, towards that crisp, quality core sound. These you still kind of have, again, that fuller bodied sound where I had a lot of fun playing a story game with this, but I got great separation within an FPS game. So which one sounds better? Which one would I recommend? They're completely different. And it's really a hard topic to break down, right? Because you got detail, clarity, and all that stuff over here, but you got a little bit better separation over here. So I don't know, you got to think about which one's going to be best for you, but they're clearly different. How about the new line of SteelSeries Arctis Novas? These are the Nova Pro wireless here, but even the Nova 7s, which, yeah, the Nova Pros are a bit different than the 7s. You kind of get a little bit more importantly, the wired ones, okay? I don't want to go on a rant here about SteelSeries, but the wired ones, you're going to notice a clear difference. But talking wireless, since we're talking about a wireless headset, the Pro Wireless, I feel like is very close to this sound right here. These two are quite similar. I would say the Pros, you might get a little bit extra bass with them. You know, going from the original Arctis line, I've always stated they've been clearly geared towards the highs. Very high potent right there. With the new line, they added a little bit more mids, a little bit more bass, not near as heavy as the original Logitechs or the Razers we talked about, but definitely more than this here. But you still have nice crispy highs, and again, you can really play with your sound a lot with these. As far as separation, detail, and clarity, I feel like they're both delivering the same amount of separation and clarity. I felt like I got a little bit more detail over here, and I think it's due to those drivers, the new drivers Logitech's using. And again, it just delivered that a little bit better. Does one sound better than the other? No, I don't think so. Again, I think like this is more of a manageable sound that a lot of people can get down with over here. And again, really kind of be pure to what we're used to. This is going to be something a little bit different. And again, if you're looking for that kind of headphone sound, that crisp, detailed, just core sound out there, that's what you can get over here. So Again, two fairly different ones. Now, how about compared to the Audeze Maxwell's planar magnetic drivers to their graphene drivers here? Now, this is interesting. This was a fun one here because, you know, planar magnetic drivers, there's nothing moving, right? You got that the planar magnetic drivers and they're doing their thing. So over here with the graphene being a little bit tighter, not as loose and rumbly and shaky and staticky, delivering all sorts of mumble within there, you're kind of getting close to this, right? Because you got that core sound coming right at you. And believe it or not, as wild and crazy as it sounds, that's the vibe I got, right? That is the vibe I got right here. It's nuts. It's absolutely bonkers for me to be saying that. You all know I'm a planar magnetic fanboy. I've been for years. Absolutely love Audeze. Been using them for years. Been maintaining them for years. Even their higher end headphones. The Penrose, right? I'm sure y'all are sick of me talking about those. Now, the Audeze Maxwells were changed a bit from the Penrose. The Penrose were like juicy and exciting and just like, wow. You know, coming to the Maxwells, I felt like they toned that down a little bit. And that's where I put the Logitech. So let's think about Penrose up here. That was just like, what the heck's going on? This is a crazy experience. Okay, they toned Maxwell's down a little bit here, which are still an awesome experience, but they're toned down a little bit. I would take the Logitech and I'd tone them down right down here underneath the Maxwell's. That's not saying bad that they're underneath them. That's saying it's amazing because we're not using planar magnetic drivers. But again, we're using those stiff core drivers delivering that core sound like we get with Audeze. And that is stinking awesome. Now, unfortunately, as far as separation in those highs being delivered, again, I keep going back to that score streak and that guy walking around the corner on me. Yeah, I did get a little bit better over here with the Audeze's, with the Maxwell's, because I believe it can really deliver all those in its own little segment. And that was the best out of any of them. This is hands down the best FPS headset out there, I truly believe, because it can deliver all those sounds separately and clearly out there when these other ones are still trying to do everything together a little bit, unlike, well, maybe the Blacksharks where you're letting them separate a little bit. But yeah, the Audeze's were the best if you're looking for that hardcore dedicated FPS. So hopefully you're still with me after my incredibly long-winded sound topic there. But what I want to talk about now is the conclusion of this headset. Is it worth it? Is it worth, number one, the MSRP of $250? Yes. Is it worth buying the new ones over the old ones, even though the old ones are, I believe, 20 or 30 bucks cheaper? Yes. But more importantly, what we got to talk about here is it worth the upgrade if you already have the originals here, which is still a great headset? And this is a hard topic because there's got to be a lot of things in line for me to say, yeah, go on and dish out $250, even though you already have a high-end headset over here. But it's a no-brainer. Everything compiled into this new headset. Number one, the comfort. Number two, the features and functions. Number three, the incredible sound. Yes. Hands down, it is clearly worth the upgrade to this new one. No question asked. So there we go. My review of the new Logitech Gpro X2 wireless gaming headset here. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope I was able to help you out because I've really been grinding in the background. A lot of comparisons, really testing out this headset, trying to pick it apart and stuff. So I hope I was able to help you out and you're able to relate with me on this video as a user, as a gamer, as a sound fan right here. And if you were, please hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and I hope I catch you in the next video. Bye now.